Okay, so today we are going to get into volume. This is going to be your first day of volume. And actually, I think you guys are really going to like volume because it's a formula and you plug it in and you go, kind of like when we were doing the surface area of cylinders. And I think you guys really enjoyed those. So the volume of a three-dimensional figure is a measure of the amount of space that it occupies. So basically, if we want to put it just in simple terms, what can you put in it? A lot of times I like to think of pools, like how much water can you put in the pool, or how much popcorn can you fit in the bag, and stuff like that. So every time that we think about what we're filling, we need to, what are we going to fill it with? M&Ms. M&Ms is always a good thing. So here we go. Your formula is always big B times H. Now, big B is not just any letter. It's not just a base. It's not just anything. It's something different that you guys have never really dealt with. It's the area of the base. So no matter what kind of base it is, whether it's a circle or a triangle or a trapezoid or a parallelogram, whatever that formula is for the area of that base, you're going to do that times the height of the entire prism, okay? So remember these different kinds of bases that could come up at any point. We've got the trapezoid formula here. You could write that, make sure you have that, and if you need to write it bigger, go ahead and do that. Your triangle and your parallelogram. And then I did not put your circle on here, but remember that that is pi r squared. But I don't think you'll need it for this section. I think we'll do that next section, okay? All right, so let's start with this. I'm pretty sure from talking to the science teacher from last year that you guys are familiar with finding the volume of cubes or rectangular prisms. So basically, you're finding big B, the area of the base, times the height of the entire thing. This is the base. It's a parallelogram. So to find the base of the parallelogram, you just do base times height of the base and then times the height of the entire prism. So if I do base times height of the base, it's 5 times 4. Okay, and that's just talking about your base. And then times the height of the entire thing, which is 7. Okay, so then you do 5 times 4, which is 20, and 20 times 7, which is 140. Now here's our next big difference. Millimeters cubed. Okay, because what we're doing is we're taking something with millimeters times millimeters times millimeters again. So if you put those together, you'd get millimeters cubed. Okay, let's try the next problem. Okay, so again, this base is a parallelogram. So big B times H, so base times height, 1 1/5 times 5 times the height of the entire thing. Okay, so 1 1/5 times 5, that gives me 6 times 3, 18 yards cubed. Awesome. Okay, go ahead and try to do this one on your own, and then we can check it. Okay, so you should be multiplying 2/3 times 2/3 times 2/3. 2 times 2 is 4, so we've got 4/9 times 2/3. Well, 4 times 2 is 8. 9 times 3 is 27. And then don't forget we have feet cubed. Okay, great job. Okay, so here is our next big battle. So our formula is big B times H, the height of the entire prism. Okay, so how do we find the area of this base? Well, looking at the base, I can see that it's a triangle. So if I go back to my formulas from the beginning, I know that's 1/2 base times height. Then I multiply that times the height of the entire thing. Okay? So let's fill the formula in. 1/2, the base of the triangle is 15, and the height is 8, times the height of the entire thing, which is 20. Okay, so I did 15 times 8, which is 120. Half of that, 60, times 20. And for my answer, I got 1,200 feet cubed. Awesome. Now, I recommend while I'm doing this, you need to pause the videos to make sure that you can do this on your own even before you check your answer with me, because that's not going to help you if you just copy down everything that I do. So let's try the next problem. So again, that's a triangular base, but it's a different kind of triangle. So area of the base times the height of the entire thing. Okay, so remember it's 1/2 base times height. In this case, the base is 6, and the height, right there, it's pointing right at it, times 4, times the height of the entire thing. So if I stood it up on its base, it would be 7 meters tall. Good. So let's do our 6 times 4, and that's 24, and then times 7. Half of 24 is 12, times 7, and that gives us 84 meters cubed. Awesome. I think you guys are probably doing really well with this. Okay, so another triangular prism, and if we look at it, so here's our base, and I guess in essence this can be our base too, whatever one you want to look at, it doesn't matter. So remember, big B times H, so 1/2 base times height of the triangle. Now remember, the hypotenuse is the long side, that's this. We don't want to use that, okay? So we're going to do 1/2 base times height of the triangle. Let's say this is base, so that's 9, times height, here's our height down here, times 10, times the height of the entire thing. Now this one's standing on its base, so you can see what that looks like, and times 9. Okay, so we're going to do 9 times 10, 1/2 of 90 times 9. Okay, so half of 90 gives us 45 times 9, and 45 times 9 gives us 405. So 405 inches cubed. Super. Okay, so now I believe we might be ready for some word problems on this. So let's go to our first one. A movie theater designs 2 bags to hold 96 cubic inches of popcorn. Find the height of each bag. Interesting. So I'm going to start with bag A over here. It's in a weird spot. But we already know what the volume is. It's telling us it's 96. So we have to put it into V equals big B times H. Now the area of the base here, these are going to be parallelograms. So volume equals base times height of the parallelogram times the height of the entire thing. Okay, so we know we have 96 equals 4 times 3 times whatever that height is of that prism. So 96 equals 12H. And now we can just divide by 12 on both sides. And we get the height equals 8 inches. Awesome. So 8 inches. Great, great, great. Now let's go ahead and do the same exact thing for bag B. So I want you to pause the video, give it a try, and then check your answer. Okay, if you got what I got, we're over here. We got 6 inches. So we're going to need to remember these for the next slide. So we have the height for each of them. On the next slide, it says, from the last example, find the surface area to determine the amount of paper needed. Based on the surface area, which bag should they choose? So they would like to make money, so they would want a bag with less paper so that they have to spend less money. So we can do bag A and then bag B for surface area. Now remember, surface area, you can do the formula. 2 length times width plus 2 length times height plus 2 height times width. The only thing about the bag is, though, remember, there's no top of the bag. So you're not going to do 2 length times width, you're only going to do 1. Okay, so go ahead and do that for both of those, and then I will check with you. So pause it, try it out on your own, and then check your answer with me. Okay, so just to make sure that we're on the same place, for bag A, I got 124 inches squared. Now I'm going to go ahead and do bag B. Okay, and there we have it. So we have 112 inches squared for that one. So which one should they choose? Well, of course, they should choose bag A. Or not bag A, they should choose bag B. Back that up. We don't want to choose bag A. No to bag A. Yes to bag B. There is less paper, so we are wasting less trees. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next slide. We're not actually going to do this problem. I am going to write down what your homework is for today. Okay, here, I wrote down the homework, but then I just remembered I also have a problem that I drew myself that we need to do, because you're going to see some of this on your homework. So you're going to do page 380, numbers 4 through 14. Write that down. Okay, make sure you have it done. Okay, so the next problem, back to the homework. Please make sure you have that done for tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of your day. If you want to know how to draw it, I would just start like this, okay? Do another one like that. Connect. Okay? And then I just erased some of it as I went. So I was like, oop, oop. Okay? But it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not a big deal. So, anywho. Okay, when you have these problems, because you will have a couple on your homework tonight, I want to make sure you understand that. So remember, it's volume equals big B, so the area of the base, times the height. These are the best problems ever because it gives you B. Tells you what the base is, what the area of the base is. So literally, you're going to be like, V equals 42 times 8. And then you're going to multiply 42 times 8. And you will get V equals 336 centimeters cubed. And you will be done with the problem. So I just wanted to make sure that I went over that one more time just to make sure we're all clear on that. So